Good afternoon. This is the Below the Line podcast. I'm Victor Barahat from Connect Marketing Services, and today we're going to be having a chat with Mr. Femi Adelusi. Welcome, Mr. Femi.
Thanks, Victor.
Nice to have you on board.
My pleasure to be here. It's been a great day, yesterday and today actually. X-Man 2021, I think it's been wonderful sessions so far. So I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you. So can you just tell us a bit about yourself, a bit about your background and your career path up to this moment so far?
Absolutely. Yeah, so in the last 25 years, I've been in marketing communications in Nigeria. A part of that has been on the BTL side. I started my BTL career working with tequila at about 1998. So I worked with Mr. John Top as the group CEO, and Tunji Adeyinka, the new president, was also my colleague. And a lot of the current members of various agencies under X-Man were my colleague in those years. So really exciting time working on the brands of that time, the cigarette brands. So really exciting and passionate period in that time. But in the last 10 years, I've been more on the media side. So I've managed my media agency called Brand Eye Media. So, but for me, it's been best of both worlds, activations of experiential marketing and media. The most important thing is understanding the brand and where the brand wants to be, where the consumer is, and making sure that we win with the clients that we work with on the market, in the marketplace. So it's really been an exciting 25 years. And hopefully we can continue to do exciting things for the brands that we work with in the years ahead. So it's good to have a forum such as this. Let me congratulate the new president and of course the outgoing president, Mr. Tade Adekunle and Tunji Adeyinka, for all that they've done working together, and even the years ahead as X-Man. I think X-Man, the experiential marketing profession, has come a long way. People now recognize that it is a specialty that is key, and a lot of innovation also coming up in the experiential marketing field. So really been fun the last 10 years.
Have you worked on the client side? Have you always been on the agency side of the?
Yeah, I believe it's safe to say agency is my home. That's where I started and that's where I'm back now. Yeah, but I had about 10 years at the client side. Okay. So I was with Coca-Cola International for about 7 years. I worked on brand Coke particularly, and as well as all the other non-Sprite and Fanta. But I think from an experiential marketing point of view, my most exciting time in Coca-Cola was working on Copa, the Coca-Cola football platform, a very unique youth-centric football platform across Nigeria. And also we had a team that went ahead to win in Kenya, in South Africa, and even we had a team that went to play in Chelsea, in England, in those years. So really exciting time from an activation point of view in Coca-Cola. So even though my role in Coca-Cola was head of IMC, but I also had the responsibility for the launch of Coca-Cola in Nigeria and also taking it outside of Nigeria. So really great time. And I was also in Guinness as head of IMC for another 3 years. So collectively on the client side, about 10 years in total. But really, again, looking at Coca-Cola, non-alcoholic beverages, and then coming to the Guinness side, working with the Diageo brands, a lot of spirit brands. So I would say I think I've been lucky in my career, and really excited to continue to stay relevant from the context of the new consumer of today. Yes.
Oh, I mean, I think that's a very unique blend, very lucky blend to have the both sides.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us a bit more about your businesses and what they do, and some of the landmark projects you've done that made you really proud.
Okay. So let me start with activation. Since this is where we are. So I run with my team a company called Brainbox Marketing. We work with a few multinational brands in the alcoholic beverage sector. We also do work on the non-alcoholic beverage sector as well. We also have a couple of government accounts that we manage as well. But from an experiential standpoint, I would say my most exciting project has been the Delta 25 project that we handled as a business. In 2016, Delta was 25 years, and we were the lead agency, and the event was multi-dimensional. So we had cultural festival, we had an economic summit, we had also a youth concert, and um, the cultural festival was also very unique. Delta being very diverse from an aquatic standpoint and also land. So trying to pull together, an event, to lead an event such as that was a very challenging but very exciting. We ended up winning the best agency of the year for public sector, and I think we really delighted our client, the Delta State government, at that time, in celebrating a landmark age as Delta. So good to see the progress. Good to see that even some of the work that we developed at that time from a communication standpoint are still being used even up to today from a branding standpoint. And we're looking forward to working with another state very shortly under the same similar platform. So, but I'll keep that secret for now. So yeah, so that for me would be like the most unique and the most memorable project that we have handled as a group. We also have a media agency called Brandai Media, and we also have a digital agency called DigiBridge. So collectively, we see ourselves as rendering a 360 or near 360 degrees marketing solutions for brand. And what that allows us to do is to be very neutral in our thinking and in our approach to resolving or providing solutions to the challenges that brands face in the marketplace. So you don't get to think just as a media specialist or an activation, but it's more around what is the challenge that the brand is facing today and what do we need to do. So being very um, channel or medium centric, right, is not the way to go. It's being neutral and thinking about what is in need, what does the brand need, to overcome today's challenges and to move to the next level. So yeah, so really been fun over the past 6 years, um, working across as a group CEO across these businesses has been a thing of joy. But I must say, the privilege of working with a very sound and experienced team uh, who really, really make the work a lot much easier.
Oh, fantastic. So I think what I'll ask you now will be, I mean, like you said, for all the experience you have and all the great projects you've done, um, today in the business, what are the main challenges you have? What are the challenges you have as a business owner? What are the challenges you have in the sector? And how do you think some of these things should be addressed?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the biggest challenge I can say now, which is, I would say, not only us but general, is more of recovery from the COVID-19.
Yeah.
I think the impact of that on the experiential marketing business or sector was perhaps bigger than any other marketing communication space. Simply because most of the work that we do is around contact, and face-to-face and one-on-one consumer engagement and experience. And and it's safe to say that in the last 100 years there hasn't been anything like this. So, and everybody, it came as a huge shock, having to recreate, the work that you do and deliver it on a completely different um, circumstances. How do we do sampling without being able to hand over and talk to the consumer? But yet we should be able to, and there are ways in which to do it. So yeah, so the biggest challenge has been the pandemic. And I think the biggest opportunity is allowed us to be very innovative and to think out of the box. So if I use the same sampling as an example, I mean, who would have thought some years ago that you could use drone and technology to deliver products for people to actually taste and then comment, right? And do an online concert, a comedy show, all of it online with huge followership, and almost, I mean, create a unique experience as well. Perhaps not as much as if we're all in the same room and able to jump and shake hands, right, and hug. But yes, still being able to deliver the objectives of the brand, right? It's about um, ex- ensuring that the consumer experience the brand and is able to interact and relate with the brand and share and provide feedback on the experience. So I would say that's been the biggest challenge of recent. But the opportunity that is thrown out also is how can we work with technology in the work that we do today, right? So, for example, in a summit like this, what's the role of technology from even the lapel pins that we wear, right? How do we get feedback using the tools that we use for an experiential marketing? How do we create the experience of an event from our mobile phone such that even if I'm not here physically, I can walk through, I can attend, I can go to the rooms that I want to be, and also share my view. So great to have a Zoom platform or we have an online platform. But also beyond that also, how do we still use mobile or technology to still share experience real time, even when we're not physically present? So, and how do we then evaluate also the work that we do, right, in terms of attendance, in terms of feedback, in terms of learning, in terms of those areas where people spend more time and where they spend less time, those presentations that had the biggest impact. So how do we measure this in a way that we know which areas we can be better at and improve, and not only on the summit such as this, but also in the events that we create for our clients as well. We hear about another wave, the Delta wave. But I think as professional, we've had a big opportunity to learn in 2020. I don't believe that there's any wave that can have the same impact that it had on our sector um, that we experienced last year. Otherwise, we haven't learned so much. But I think that all of this learning from this session, right, and over the last 1 year, has prepared us in a way that we can continue to deliver our work, right, with precision and with result for our clients, and continue to delight the customers and the consumers on the other side as well. So in every, like they say, never let a crisis go to waste. I think there's a lot of learning from the pandemic, and when I look forward, I think it cannot be as bad. It can only get better. The very important thing is that people are now uh, perhaps it's safe to say tired, and I can't wait for the next concert. Can't wait to get back to physical school, right? I've got a son who said to me last year that university is a scam, right? That you go out, they talk about getting to campus, and then you get to campus, there's nobody to talk to, there's nowhere to go, there's no party, And I said, just hold on, just wait. So the essence of that is the people are hungry. I can't wait. We can't wait for the bars to be filled again. We saw Euro 20, and people are ready. English Premier League is about to start. People can't wait again. So I think we've learned. We know how to maneuver around social distancing, and staying safe. I mean, ensuring that we stay safe, putting all the parameters in place. So, for example, as we look at the World Cup coming up in next year,
Next year.
right? I mean, the world is waiting, but there's a lot of learning from Euro 2020, and there's a lot of learning that we'll also take for the Olympics, and so that we can deliver an experiential event at the next Football World Cup, right? So there's a lot of learning, and I think in our field, we can only get better and things can only progress based on the learning and all that we have seen in the last 1 year.
So it's fair to say the experiential marketing
I think
sector has gained experience.
We've gained experience and we're ready to go.
It's ready to go.
I think we've put in place the kind of resilience and structure and ways of working and processes that will allow us to not only now react, but to proactively prepare for what is coming ahead of us.
Okay. So just as a way of rounding up, really like to give a word to anybody that wants to get into the business of experiential marketing. Like, what should they do?
Yeah.
What should they look out for? And what do you think they need?
I think it's a very I came into experiential strictly by accident. I when I was recruited in Tequila in those days, were supposed to work on the launch of the MTN account, of telco in general, with MTN account at that time. And there was a delay by the president of the day. But a lot has happened since then, right? A few things that I already talked about. So my advice to those, whether you're green, irrespective of your background, the experiential marketing industry is a very welcoming one, irrespective of your field, right? And irrespective of what your personality is, whether it's around strategy or whether it's around operational details or whether it's around shows and events, it's such a broad, right, field, professional field at that, for you to come and bring your talent and your skill to work, whether with working with artists and or production houses. There's just so much room. It's a huge space, but you can find your niche there. Important thing is that you discover yourself and you bring your best. You bring your A game to
To the
play
team.
right after the initial learning period. So my encouragement, my word is, feel free to jump in, and the industry is growing. We've got a team, a new ESCO team that is very experienced. Somebody like Tunji Adeyinka, I met him in this industry over 2 decades ago. He's worked on, whatever sector they've been there. So there's a whole lot of dynamism. There's a whole lot of growth and development. There's a lot of creativity and innovation that is brought into the experiential marketing field. So it's a real good time to come in there.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure chatting to you,
The pleasure is
Femi.
mine as well. Thanks so
All
much,
right. Thank
Victor.
you very much.
Thank you.
So thank you. That's it today on Below the Line podcast. Thank you.